This is this is actually one of the most exciting times in content creation because of the introduction of AI. Just over a year ago, the AI tools became easily accessible to individuals like you and I. Now, the thing is that AI helps you do things like write articles, create videos, create images, and so there was this fear that is going to destroy creativity and that creators are going to lose their jobs and become irrelevant. But that is just very far from the case. AI needs human beings in order to function correctly. And that is where you and I get to benefit from the introduction of AI. So you can use AI to create content faster and even to create more of what you would normally be able to do on your own. It also cuts down the amount of money you would spend on content. So instead of being afraid of AI, you want to make use of AI, because AI, like we always say, it is not the enemy. AI is the opportunity. It's just that when you know what you want to do with it, it becomes an amazing tool that helps you expedite the content creation process and to also make more money while paying less for the work that it does. We want to look at how to use AI to create high quality content. In this video, we want to learn how to create high quality content using AI. AI is here to stay. So many people have actually shot themselves in the foot trying to create content using AI. Is AI the problem? Not really. AI is here to really help us do so many things faster and at a lower cost. AI has made a lot of things so very much less expensive, and some of the things we used to pay for have become free with the introduction of AI. So AI is here and it's very useful. But how do you create high quality content using AI? Well, some people are getting it so wrong. Others are actually making a fortune out of content creation with AI. So it's about actually knowing how to use AI. So the success of a tool is not just about the tool, because it doesn't matter how good the tool is. If it's in the wrong hands, or if you don't know how to make use of the AI tool, it's still not going to work well. So one thing is that you, as a writer, you need to know how to edit AI content. You need to know how to create AI content to start with, and how to edit the content, how to optimize the content to get it up to standard. Also, you need to learn. You also need to be like an expert, like not really like an expert, but someone who knows what they are talking about. Because unless you know what you're talking about, you will know when to correct the AI when it makes mistakes. Because AI, as we all know, sometimes it gets the facts wrong, and other times it just presents it wrongly to the user. The other problem with the AI thing right now is that so many of us don't know which tools work well, because you go on the internet and you see all kinds of ads about AI. Every AI company is telling you they have the best AI tool in the market, but for the most part, that is going to be false. So that's just like a handful of AI tools that actually do what they promise to do. Whether it's creation of images, video content, or content writing. In this video, we have picked an AI tool that can actually do the job. So let's get straight into content creation with AI. After this video, you're going to know how to write high quality content using AI. So to start with, I want to introduce a tool I'm using. It's called the Color Writer tool. I'll just say a few reasons why I'm using Color Writer, and also we will learn more about Color Writer while
creating these articles. If you check out the pricing for Color Writer, you'll find out that it's very cheap. It starts at just $9 per month compared to other tools in the market which are very expensive, and it's difficult for you to use, especially if you're just getting started writing. And also, you don't want to end up paying like $100 for a writing tool just to find out that it's not doing what you promised to do. So Colorado is like, it's just good that you can get in at just $9 per month and find out if it's the appropriate tool for you. The $9 plan gives you the ability to create like 15,000 words per month, and that's like if you're creating 3,000 words of articles, like 5 articles per month. If it's just like 2,000, it's like 7.5 articles per month. If it's like 2,000 words, it's like 7.5 articles per month, and you have the ability to use the color chat. I'll talk a bit more on the color chat. Real-time functionality is that you can always the AI could browse results in the SERPs and know how to give you a good article. You can also integrate it with WordPress, which makes it easy for you to create a draft for WordPress directly from Color Writer. Also, Google Sheet integration is good because you can take your list of blog posts straight out of Google Sheets and then make use of them right here in Color Writer. So I'll just so I have an account with Color. I have like 250,000 credits pack that I bought. So that's what I'm using right now. So let's go to the Color Chat. So with Color Chat, it's like having ChatGPT, but with all the functions that you need for ChatGPT. For example, the real-time browsing, you can get it here. The latest versions of ChatGPT, also cloud, you also have them in Color Chat. So you don't have to always have to switch to ChatGPT when you need to create something as simple as a simple chat, or do something like writing an email, because sometimes you finish creating an article and you want to write an email for that article so you can send it out and notify your users about the new article. You can easily come here, and Color Chat will help you do that. With Color Chat, you can also create social media posts like for Twitter or for Facebook, Instagram, and the rest of them. So this is actually a very good tool for a blogger. So let's go straight into the Color Writer, where we are going to be doing the real work. Here we are inside Color Writer, and we want to get started creating content using this awesome tool. So there's like this saved preset. We are not going to be using that. You can create a project for yourself, like DVW content or something. This is optional. I don't want to do that. You could choose or just type a project for yourself, which I don't want to do that right now. And the next thing that you want to do is that you want to choose a GPT version. So 3.5 is not that bad, but GPT-4 is better. But here's one thing you need to know about the GPT-4 versions is that GPT-4 Legacy actually uses 5 times more words, which means it consumes your credit a whole lot faster, probably 5 times faster than GPT 3.5. And then there's a GPT-4 Turbo, which actually uses 2.5 times more words. So I don't recommend using this two, even though there are better versions of the GPT, unless you have heavy lifting to do as far as the research is concerned. So when the post requires heavy research, because you probably don't know that much about that particular topic. Like I said, you should also always know something about what you're writing about so you don't get to produce bad content with the use of AI. So we're just going to stick with GPT 3.5 because I'm pretty knowledgeable about the topic I want to write about. It just makes no sense writing an article you've written before or writing something you know about when AI can always do the same thing, and then you just add in a few words and then you are done. So AI is it just helps make the work easier. So next thing you want to do, you want to pick an article type: blog post, Amazon roundup, or product review. There's a YouTube video or two blog posts, so you can convert a YouTube video straight into a blog post by just inserting the link right there. We won't do that. You could rewrite an existing blog post because sometimes it can be boring, or you just lack motivation going to rewrite an existing blog post. So you just want to do allow an AI to do that for you. So here is where you want to put the target keyword. But let me just mention that I do not use target keywords here. What I actually use is like a topic that I have created. Now, I never recommend that you just go straight from topic research or keyword research into straight out of that to writing. I like that you have your list of topic ideas that you want to write content about, and then when it's time to write, you just go there, pick one article, put it in here, or just put it in your Word software, and then you start typing or you start using the AI to create the article, because many people do this and it is just wrong. So I've mentioned it in Blogging Made Simple, and I've actually talked about how to do the work of blogging in batches, like with the article research and also the outline. So what most people do is that they do research, they collect a list of topics, say like 20 to 30 or 50, and then they actually make another time to pick 5 or 10 of those blog posts and create outlines for the 5 of them, and then another time they use that for content writing. So this is good, like to create content in batches. I've talked more about this in the Blogging Made Simple course. That actually helps you produce high quality content, and it also helps you to save time. So what I want to go ahead and do here is that I want to enter one of the topics that I have in mind that I have one of the topics that I want to write about. So like I said, I don't like putting in keywords here. What I want to do is that I want to insert like an article topic that I want. Still, the AI will do its own, but yeah. So from my research, I have this topic that I want to write about: how to make passive income from blogging. So that's the topic that I want to write about. SEO optimization. Do you want the AI to actually check real time the search engine so it knows exactly what to do with this article, and to create an article that will be good enough to compete with other articles on the search engine results pages? So yes, I want it to be AI powered. So automatic internal linking. You can do this with Color if you have the professional or gold credit pack. I don't need to do that. I will do my internal linking by myself. And then there's the AI and YouTube videos. So AI images. So if you pick the images, it's going to help you create images like AI generated images for the most part. And then if you pick videos, it's going to insert videos for you. So try to make sure that this like down to 1 or just 2. I like to leave it at 1. So the AI will go to YouTube and just pick an article that is relevant, pick a video that is relevant to the article you're writing about. but I like to leave it at none. I'm not ready for that now, but most times I just like to do the video thing because I like to insert my images myself, because right now it's becoming ever more important that to have videos in your articles or videos for your articles, because it helps build trust. It also makes the user to spend more time on your article because they are actually watching the video on that page. So the next thing you want to pick chose is the length of the article. So for the sake of this video, I don't want to make an article that's too long. Just stick with something 1,350 words. They're about 3 to 5 sections. And so the tone of voice, do you want to sound friendly, professional, excited, humorous? So you could do custom and then you insert a custom tone of voice. Or you could do the SEO optimized. So this is like, this depends on how you want to sound. So you don't want to sound different from how you've always been sounding, so it doesn't feel like a different person is talking to your readers. I like to leave it at SEO optimize, the language, the country, there's a point of view. So it used to be that I'd use this he, she, and there, but the problem was that the AI used to kind of talk to things and groups of people. It wasn't like talking to a particular person, because when you write an article, you want it to sound that like you are talking to the person that is reading the article. So I actually switched to you and yours, so it actually helps sound like I am speaking directly to the person reading the article. So do you want it to use real-time data or information to help create the article? I like that. To do that, I like to use scholarly. Do you want it to cite sources? I like this, but sometimes you can just leave it out. But yeah, it's good if it cites sources, and then, but just remember that you go into the article and make those links no follow links, or you could just make them open in the new tab. So what most people do is that they actually just come down here and then they create an article directly from this. But I really don't recommend that. I like that you actually create an outline before you create an article, because this is like a crucial part of the content creation process. This is why if you don't know how to create content, you just walk straight into using AI, you're going to make mistakes. This is where people get it wrong. People think that the AI tool is complete and knows what to do, and like knows everything to do. No, this is why you have to learn the skill that you want to do using the AI, because where there is a mistake, where something is wrong, you can actually correct yourself. And this is also what makes color writers stand out from other writing tools, because most of those writing tools are just going to go from keyword to content without following through these steps to make sure that you create a very good article. Just taking time right now because I have to explain to show us or what to do. But in like 2 or 3 minutes, if I'm doing my thing, by this I was done. I'm waiting for my article to come out. So do you want to include the FAQ session? It actually helps, but also bear in mind that Google has discontinued the FAQ schema, and so I don't know if this will be of much use SEO wise, but if you think it's going to help the reader, then go ahead and use that. I don't like to use that. Do you want to include key takeaways? Some people do this, but sometimes I just don't want to do this. So show advanced options. Do you have specific URLs you would like to link to in the article? You can enter it here. And also, do you have a custom outline? So sometimes you could have a custom outline for your article. You can just carry it, insert it here, and it will help you create an outstanding article. Do you have a prompt for your title? So if there's a way, if there's something that you want the AI to consider when choosing an article for your blog post, you can enter that in here. So this is the extra session prompts. You also need to be careful about this because it can actually go so wrong. It can actually go right. So maybe you need to experiment with that and see how that works. Do you want to disable introduction? I like to allow introduction and conclusions. Sometimes you may have your own introduction that you want to use in the article, so you could go ahead and disable this. One thing I like about Colorado is the number of options that it gives you. It actually helps you do a lot about the article even before the AI write the article, which helps you produce even higher quality blog posts using their AI machine. Everything is all set here, so we just want to go ahead and create an outline. The color writer AI has given us an outline. What we want to do is to just go in here and edit this outline. Remember the title of the blog post, how to make passive income from blogging. Looking at this outline, it doesn't quite take the reader from where they are to where they actually make passive income from blogging. What we want to do is to edit this outline such that the main content of the entire blog post will take the reader from the point where they either know nothing about blogging or just getting started or not making enough money to a point where they're making money, and not just making money, making passive income from blogging. So I'll just go in here, edit this outline, and then we'll come back and continue with the video. So the first thing I want to edit will be this. Something like that. One thing that you notice with the color writer tool is that it gives you the option to further prompts the AI on what to do or keywords to use, the main idea that you want to focus on in that particular section or heading. So this is very useful for content creation, unlike where it's you just set up the AI, click a button, and it just starts writing. Like, you could hardly get any good content from writing in that manner. So color writer actually gives you a whole lot of control, which makes it easier for you to produce high quality content. So the final process of editing the content won't be too much of a problem. So I'll just say something like money making blog. To see how this AI tool helps you stay on point when creating this article, so you won't have too much editing to do when the final article is out. I'll just go ahead and save this. You don't want to spend too much time. And so with this, I would just like to talk about creating high quality content before moving to talking about understanding the basics of SEO. One other thing I have noticed is that SEO for me has more to do with promotions, actually getting eyes on your content. And so I want to bring it to where it talks about growing your audience and not here. So getting started is just say about the niching and the creating of high quality content. Make no mistake, you can always add more subheadings to this H2 to give more information. But you see how knowing about the topic helps me make a reasonable article, a useful article, compared to if it was someone who just doesn't know anything about this topic and then goes into the AI and just says, write me a blog post on how to make passive income from blogging. So the thing with AI is that it looks perfect if you don't know what you're doing. The other thing I notice here is that it goes on to talk about monetization even before it talks about growing your audience. So I'd like to reposition this and try to talk about actually growing your audience first before I go to talk about monetization. Also, again, under monetization strategies, it doesn't mention display ads, so I just have to add that. So you see how to easily add a H3. It's just like you add a H2 and then you shift it like that, and then it becomes a H3. I could just drag that up in there. So now that you have an idea what to do with your outline, I won't spend any more time here. So I'll just go ahead and create this article. So I'll click on write article, and the color writer AI writing tool will just write the article for me. $1,656 words in just like 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. So you see how AI can actually help you produce high quality content in just about no time if you actually know what you're doing. So now that we have our article written, the next thing is to edit this article. What I do basically is that I have to copy this article and just take it to WordPress, such that once I edit that in WordPress, I can just go ahead to publish the article. Some take it to Grammarly or any other writing assistant platform to edit the article before bringing it here. Or if you have like an editor or somebody you could outsource final editing and publishing to, you can always do that. And so I'll just go ahead, copy this article, and then take it to WordPress. Here we are in WordPress, so I'll just go ahead and paste the content I just copied from ColorWriter. You can integrate your WordPress website with ColorWriter such that once it's done writing the article, it can just create a draft blog post for you on WordPress instantly. There are a list of things that you need to do when editing a blog post produced by AI. I'll just leave a list down below, most likely in an ebook format, so you can always look through it and learn how to edit your AI written article properly. So the first thing you want to start with is the title. So is this a step-by-step guide? Yes, it's sort of a step-by-step guide. It's kind of like a step-by-step guide because I edited it, but looking at what it produced at first, this step-by-step guide wouldn't fit. So one of the things you look out for is, does the blog post actually do the work? Does it deliver on the promise you have in the title? Because this is one of the things that Google look out for. So it's not just the person reading the article. To Google, if you promise something but you don't deliver in the content, it's going to affect your ranking because that passes as unhelpful content. And so we have already done a lot of work with the outline. So the first thing that we want to look at is the introduction, how you can answer their question and get them from where they are to where they want to be. So looking at this introduction, it actually looks okay. So to start with, make sure the paragraphs aren't too long. So I'll just break that up, make it look like that. The introduction looks good, but it doesn't quite talk to the reader in a way that I want it to. So
what I want to do is that I want to mention the problem, what the reader is looking for. Also mention the ways they could try to fix the problem that really doesn't work. So that is what I would want to do with this introduction. So one of the things that you want to do with AI written content is to insert a calls to action. So for example, you have a product you're selling that could help the reader achieve this success that they're looking for. So you can always include that here. Or maybe you have a course, maybe you have an ebook or something, or maybe you want them to sign up for your email list. So this is something you can do with AI, because most AI tools don't know that you have a product you're selling. So you actually take the opportunity to mention that in your article. For example, at BizatWeb, we have a course at selling, which is the Blogging Made Simple course. So I could use that opportunity to mention that course here. The other thing that you need to look out for in writing is that you want to stay on point. Whenever you have a section, you have a heading for that section. Try to stay on point. Don't wander. Don't talk about too many things in a single session. Hit the point, give the reader, deliver the message, and then move to the next session. So for example, we're talking about choosing a profitable niche. So talk about choosing a profitable niche. Don't go wandering into monetization strategies, because talking about profitable niche, it's easy for you to wander out of it and just go talking about monetization strategies. This is something that you could mention, but don't go off the point. And so another thing that you want to do with your AI written content is that you want to add links to other blog posts that you have on your website. Internal linking is crucial, is key, and it helps for you to add links as they come to mind, or maybe you could decide to do that at a different time. But for the most part, adding links to your website when editing actually helps, because it helps you add the right links in the right places. This is what most AI tools will not do. This is what most people producing do many content with AI will not do. So what will separate you from the pack is actually adding in relevant internal links. And this is not just about search engine traffic. It helps that a user comes to your site and clicks around, because you have given them a clear path to follow. You have made it easier for them to find other content on your site. So one of the things you do when editing AI content is to make sure you add links. So like I said, I will make a list of the things that you need to do to have a good AI written content, and then I will leave it in the resources session, so you can download and look at them whenever you want. So the other thing that AI doesn't do is that it doesn't include slangs when writing content. So if you look at this content, AI tries to stay professional for the most part. So what you want to do is that you want to include slang. So if you have slangs that is being used, you want to include that. Abbreviation, sometimes it stays away from using them, so you want to use them. This appeals more to the reader and also shows the search engine that you are in this industry and actually know what you are talking about. You also want to make sure that the AI is not just throwing a bunch of information on the reader. Once you see that a paragraph or a section is not fitting quite well with the rest of it, you can either reposition that paragraph or change it completely. Never be afraid of rewriting a paragraph or a section completely. Just be ready for that. It doesn't happen often if you do your outline correctly and prompt the AI correctly. Another thing you want to do with AI written content is that you want to remove repeated points. Sometimes the AI will just repeat something it has already talked about,
before. So you don't want it to do that, just so you don't have repeated ideas all over the place. And for me, making a summary of each section that I write about is just not necessary. So what I do, I just go ahead, remove the summary, get rid of that, because sometimes it's just a repetition of what it has talked about already. If you look through this article, you're going to see that some companies are being mentioned. Just in case you're an affiliate, you want to include your affiliate links in the article. For example, building an engaging email list. This is an opportunity for you to mention an email marketing platform that you are using. So you could mention that email platform and then include your affiliate link. The next thing you want to do is that you want to add visuals to your AI written content like images, videos. So you could go to YouTube, bring in a video that's relevant to this. Remember, videos go a long way into helping your content perform well, because one, it helps the users stay longer on your site, because someone comes in and they find the video, they're going to stop and watch the video. Secondly, most people prefer to watch videos instead of reading a long blog post. Add relevant images. So the AI may not be too good at adding images. Also, you also have the opportunity to add original images. So if you leave everything to the AI, a lot of it's going to be robotic, just looks like something a machine did. But if you now bring in images that you took on your own, real original images, it actually helps make your content a whole lot better. One other thing you can do to make this content much better is to add a table of content. A table of content actually helps make it easier for people to go through your blog and read it. So if you don't have a table of content plugin, you could go to WordPress, install one. Some SEO tools come with a table of content. So you could add a blog and just search for a table of content and then add it to your article. So these are the things that you need to do to take a simple AI content that looks good but never is really that good, to take it from what it is to high quality content that brings the results that you need and also gives your website a good reputation. Because when you help the user, when you deliver on the promise, when you help them solve their problems, give them the information they need, makes them fall in love with your content and want to come back for more. So I'll drop the link to the resource in the description where you can check out the list of the things that you need to do to take your AI written content to a high quality content that doesn't just help the reader but also converts well for your business.
In addition to what you have already learned, here are a few tips that will help your content be even more useful to your reader. The first is adding a personal story. This goes a long way into making your article unique and trustworthy. This is something I learned from Julia McCoy, the content hacker lady, also the president of Content at Scale, as at the time of making the video. Adding a personal story goes a long way. We have seen instances where you go to the search engine, you search for something, you don't get the answer to what you're looking for in the first article that pops up, so you go to the second, you just keep going. Like 5 to 10 articles is like a repetition of the same thing in the SERPs. Like, nobody wants that. Like, we are tired of seeing such results where everybody's just repeating the same thing, and with the introduction of AI tools, people just make the habit of using AI to rewrite content and just putting it out there. Something that's going to make you stand out is adding in a personal story. For example, you did something to increase revenue on your site. You could just say something like, I added a banner ad of a square ad at the middle of my blog post, for yeah, at the middle of all of my top performing blog posts, until it increased my revenue by 1%, by 5%. And so I went from $100 per month to $150 per month. And it actually did not affect my site speed, or yeah, it had a little impact on my site speed. So because out of what I did and the experience I had, this is my recommendation. This is what you should do. This is what you should not do. When you come out sounding like this, when you put out this kind of information, it makes you trustworthy. Like, we all want to get information from someone who has tried something, and out of the experience they have generated solutions and ideas for us. So when you do this, it actually helps your content come out better, unique, not just for the person reading it, but also search engines will actually recognize that you have experience, you have expertise, and you can be trusted with this kind of topic. This is why we recommend that you get involved in what you are talking about. It doesn't have to be full time, and also it doesn't mean that you have to add a personal story to every article that you write. Of course, this is not possible, but whenever you can, add a personal story. Get involved, get the right information, so you can share that with your users. Another very good tip that you can apply when creating AI content is creating these contents separately. So you have a whole article, it's like a long form article of 3,000 words, 5,000 words. You could break them into separate articles and make articles for them. So this is how we go about creating AI content. We enter the topic and then the AI just write the whole article from start to finish. Sometimes we find out that it's just missing something, and sometimes it's missing something after we are done with the whole entire article, and we're like, no, something is supposed to be here. One of the ways we could avoid things like that is to create this article separately. So you say you have an article talking about three major things separately. What you want to do is that you could decide to create separate articles and then merge them together. For example, in the article we just used, we could decide that we want to create the session separately. Website setup, I want to talk about website setup. I want to talk about monetization. I want to talk about getting users traffic to your website. So I could decide that I pick the monetization part of the article and just give it to the AI to create a short form article on that. So it actually covers that part well. Say like 500 to 1,000 words, and then I do that, and then I have three separate blog posts. So what I do is that I take these three separate blog posts, merge them into one article. This actually helps when making long form articles. So a lot depends on how you prompt the AI and the kind of AI tool that you are using. So, apart from having all these tips, you should also learn how your tool works, so you know how to use it and how not to use it. And also, you may not need to use the AI content writing tool. You could decide to use a chat software like ChatGPT to actually create a session that is missing, because when you actually do this, it gives you the opportunity to fine tune the AI and just make it produce just exactly what you want for that session. So for example, in the article that we used, how to make passive income from blogging, I discovered that it's important that we include AI, using AI to automate content writing. So what I do, which is why I like to use Caller, I just go to the Caller chat and then I tell it to give me tips on how to automate blogging with respect to the following sections. So there's monetization, there is website setup, there is content creation, there is promotion, and so it's gonna give me tips on how I could use AI to do these things, and then I'll just pick that up and make it part of the article. Just use the AI editing tips to just make it sound better, more human-like. This is another thing that you can apply to actually make your AI written content very useful, unique, informative, to relevant to your users. One thing with AI is that it kind of stays away from slangs, it stays away from abbreviations, it stays away from uh, languages that it does not understand. So if you tell an AI to write about something in English, US English, it's just going to stick to the professional style of writing. Well, a lot depends on how you fine tune it, but for the most part, the AI is just going to stick to the professional, widely accepted style of writing, of speaking the language. That's what it's going to use in writing. So one thing that you can do to stand out is to add in these slangs that are being used in the space, in the niche, in the place that you are writing content for. For every industry, you're going to see slangs that are coined, words that are coined. Some of them are coined from English, some of them are coined from other languages. AI mostly doesn't know this, and sometimes it just does not include that in the article that it's writing, mainly because it's not human. It doesn't have real experience with this. So one thing that will help you stand out and help you relate more with the reader is that you include these words, these registers that the AI misses out on. This happens in many ways where the AI just omits something. It also happens where the language actually people speaking the language have coined terms. Maybe they have a language that is different from English but has English incorporated or coined out of English, kind of derived from English. We have that in my country. It's called Pidgin English. The AI may stay out of using things like this or terms or words like that. So you can include that in the article. It helps with local searches because when Google sees this kind of thing or any other search engine, it actually helps them realize that okay, you are writing for locals. And so there is British English, there is American English. Something you would notice with American English for the most part is that sometimes they omit words. And so when you write content in this way, you could decide that you're going to omit words. Sometimes the Grammarly or whatever tool you're using is going to underline it, just highlight it for you to correct. Sometimes it's not wrong. It's what the readers would relate with. So when you actually do this in your article, you're kind of write in a way that the people would speak that language, or the people in that space, in that industry, would speak the language. It actually helps you win over the reader. It helps them relate with you even more. And for local SEO, it helps the search engine to see that you actually know what you're writing about and you have experience in this space. So do well to include slangs, use the abbreviations that are used in the industry. Most times AI stays away from that, and so you see that sometimes when it's talking about a person, it's could decide that it's using the first name or the last name or both names. So stuff like that. The person could have a nickname, and so the AI doesn't know the nickname of the person. What you want to do is that you could use that nickname. The reader completely understands this, but AI doesn't. So you want to make sure that you include this in your article. Actually helps your AI content feel a lot like human written content. Apart from helping your content feel unique, helping the users relate even more with your content, what are using slangs and abbreviations and nicknames and all of that, what it helps you do also is that it will help you avoid repetitions that the AI does. So depending on the content you're writing, okay, this doesn't happen all the time, but depending on the content you're writing, especially when you're talking about a specific product or item, you see the AI overly repeats the name of that product almost everywhere, and this could be considered or seen as keyword stuffing. And so repeating the words too much just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good to the reader, and also search engines may see that this is trying to game. It may appear like you're trying to game the search engine by overly repeating the keyword. It could also make it easy to spot that this content is written by AI. So you want to remove the excessive repetition. This happens mostly with words and phrases. So depending on the tool you're using, this may not be much of a problem. But even with the best of tools, depending on how you prompt the AI or what you are talking about, you could see it repeat words. So I wrote an article talking about generative AI, and so I kept seeing generative AI all over the place, like several times in a paragraph, in a sentence. And so you could either decide to go into the article, remove those repeated words, or you could just decide that the AI should rewrite the content. These are the things that you want to do to make sure your AI written content is world class. Sometimes you won't have to apply all of them. Most of the times you're not going to have to apply all of them in the article, but these are a few touches that you could actually apply to your AI content to make it top notch.